In this chamber, everyone has experienced their country being plundered of all the gold it had, all the silver it had, all the diamonds it had, all the minerals it had. Before they took everything we had, now they want to own the critical minerals and rare earths that we possess. I see Bolivia over there. I see Bolivia's first plundering. That is, they have taken almost everything from Bolivia. And now that Bolivia has critical minerals, this is Bolivia's chance. It is Africa's chance. It is Latin America's chance not to accept being merely exporters of minerals for them. Whoever wants to come and settle and produce in the country so that we have a chance to develop our country is welcome. We have already done it. We were colonized. We fought for independence. We conquered democracy. We lost democracy. And now they want to colonize us again. So, comrades, I could not miss this meeting. I arrived here at 2 o'clock in the morning to make this meeting happen, because we must raise our heads. It is not possible that someone thinks they own other countries. What are they doing to Cuba now? What did they do to Venezuela? Is this democratic? In what paragraph, in what article of the Charter is it written that the president of a country can invade another? In which document in the world is this written? Not even in the Bible. There is nothing that permits this to happen. This is the use of force and power to colonize us again. So, will we not have chances now that we discovered we have rare earths? That we discovered we have critical minerals? Now that we can aspire to make a qualitative leap in producing alternative fuels? We must shout loudly and clearly so that what happened recently in Gaza does not happen in other countries. I never forget, my friends, that in December 2002 I had already been elected president of Brazil, and President Bush invited me to Washington to talk with him. I had not taken office yet, and he wanted me to participate in the Iraq War. I told him, President, I do not know Saddam Hussein. Iraq is 14,000 kilometers from my country. I have never been to Iraq. Why make war with him? Why destroy to rebuild? At that time they offered me, if you participate in the war, Brazilian companies will help rebuild Iraq. I said, why should I destroy to rebuild? If it is already built, leave what is built. I told President Bush, I will not participate in the Iraq War. My war is against the hunger of 54 million Brazilians who have nothing to eat. And this war I will win. And I won that war. In 2014, we ended hunger in Brazil. Today, when I returned to the presidency, there were 33 million people going hungry again in just 2.5 years. But again, we took 33 million people out of hunger. This is the war we have to fight. To end hunger in Africa, in Latin America, to end illiteracy, to end lack of electrical energy. This is the war we must fight. Therefore, forgive me, dear Vice President. I could not refrain from saying this, because we are losing the right to be outraged. We are losing the right.
Do you think I want war against anyone? I do not want war with anyone. Not the smallest island in the world, not the slightest, and much less with the United States, China, or Russia. I do not want that. I want to build narratives, because only with narratives can we say we will build a world where our children, our grandchildren can believe it was worth being the government of the country we were born in. We are no longer colonized countries. We conquered sovereignty with our independence. We cannot allow anyone to interfere and violate the territorial integrity of each country. What we are watching in the world is the total and absolute failure of the United Nations. The UN Security Council and its permanent members were created to try to keep peace. And it is they who are waging war.
When will we take action to prevent the most powerful countries from thinking they own the weaker countries? When will the UN call an extraordinary meeting so that we decide what the role of the Security Council members is? Why is it not renewed? Why are more countries not added representing the UN Security Council? As a human being, as a Democrat, and as President of Brazil, I am outraged at the passivity of Security Council members who have not been able to solve the problem in the Gaza Strip, have not been able to solve the problem in Iraq, Libya, Ukraine, Iran. Everything is resolved through war. Whoever has the biggest cannon, most ships, most planes, most money thinks they own the world. When will we say this is not normal? When will we say that we want to have civilized relations among nations again? That we will not allow the end of multilateralism? And that only peace can allow the poor world to develop? What does a war build except deaths and destruction? When will we react? I want to tell you that in 2010, I went to Tehran with the president of Turkey to convince the Iranian government that it could not enrich uranium to make nuclear weapons. I told the authorities in Iran, Khamenei and Ahmadinejad, that we would accept them enriching uranium to the same extent as Brazil does, for peaceful and scientific purposes. We made an agreement. When it was published, instead of European countries and the United States accepting it, they increased the blockade on Iran. It is quite remarkable because it was published in the press. It is no secret to anyone. I had received a letter from President Obama saying that if Ahmadinejad accepted the agreement, all was fine. So we got Ahmadinejad to sign the agreement just as Obama's letter requested. To my surprise, when the agreement was published, both Europe and the United States increased the blockade. After a few years, they made a worse deal than the one we had made. And now Iran was invaded under the pretext that it was building a bomb. Where are Saddam Hussein's chemical weapons?